Happening now on this Friday, Chautauqua County sees 2 new COVID-19 pediatric cases, the latest coming up. Plus, why the county DMV is backlogged.
And a few rain showers are moving across northwestern Pennsylvania and the southern tier. That'll continue through the day today. And how's Memorial Day? We'll talk about it and more as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now on this Friday. I'm Justin Gould. The number of COVID-19 cases here in Chautauqua County has reached 60 after 2 new pediatric cases and another adult case was reported yesterday afternoon. The county health department says the adult case involves a woman in her 30s. Now, they did not release any other information about the 2 new pediatric cases. Since the start of the outbreak, there have been a total of 3 reported cases involving minors here in Chautauqua County. There are now 19 active cases, that number up 16 from the day before. So far, 37 have recovered from the virus and 4 have died. Cattaraugus County officials, meanwhile, reported 2 new cases, bringing their total to 55 with 16 active. Warren County saw its 3rd case. Today at 3 o'clock, Chautauqua County officials are slated to hold their weekly COVID-19 press conference update. You can watch that live right here on WNY News Now. Well, DMVs in Chautauqua County will likely remain closed for the public for at least another month. Chautauqua County Clerk Larry Barmore tells us that safety precautions like plexiglass shields in preparation for customers to return in person are currently being installed. Barmore says staff is also working at half capacity to limit contact between employees, and that is responsible for the backlog.
They're doing the mail-in stuff and the Dropbox stuff, and just that alone, we can't even keep up. So when we start taking in driver's license renewals and permit tests and all that, we're just going to be slammed, I know, but we're going to do that on an appointment basis. And how that's going to work exactly, I don't know, because we've never done it before. So we're just going to have to kind of play it by ear.
He says when all employees return, there will be plexiglass between each station to limit contact further. Additionally, the clerk says every other employee will handle walk-in customers. Services that can be done via U.S. mail or that Dropbox will continue remotely in order to limit further contact. Now, as for reopening, Barmore says he'll be working with other county leaders to determine when the right time to reopen will be. Currently, no date has been set yet. Well, the picture of a pandemic economy is becoming clearer as millions of more Americans file for unemployment benefits. But while layoffs and furloughs have taken hold of the labor market, the president is remaining optimistic that we'll bounce back. Nadia Romeo explains more from our Washington bureau.
It's a tale of 2 perspectives.
The economy will recover. It will take time.
Clearly, the economy's not going to snap back come July.
Jobless claims released Thursday show 2.4 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week, bringing the total nationwide to more than 38 million since mid-March. But the president believes the jobs are only temporarily lost. Thursday, touring a Ford plant in Michigan.
Here's my mask right here. And I liked it very much.
Wearing a face mask for parts of his visit while continuously touting optimism and slamming states sticking with strict stay-at-home orders instead of reopening their economies.
I think that a lot of these states are going to, the ones that are sort of sticking to a certain very rigid pattern, I think they're going to stop. I don't think the people are going to stand for it. This is a country that's meant to be open, not closed.
But some workers paint a darker picture of the nation's economic future. Fearful states are opening up too soon, and businesses aren't prepared to do it safely.
Even the protocols that they have in place aren't being strictly adhered to.
The Labor Department set to release a full jobs report Friday. In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
Nadia, thank you. Now, according to the Department of Labor, 38.6 million people have filed for initial unemployment aid since mid-March. That represents about 24% of the U.S. labor force in March. Well, local leaders are distributing hand sanitizer and face masks to area farms in an effort to stop the spread of COVID-19. The Cornell Cooperative Extension of Chautauqua County's agricultural program, in conjunction with the New York AG and Ag and Markets, have so far given away more than 600 gallons of hand sanitizer and over 1,000 face coverings. Those supplies were provided by New York State. This program is available to farm owners to distribute them to employees and hold on to some for themselves. Farm owners interested in learning more and receiving some supplies are asked to contact ecc.cornell.edu/Chautauqua, or you can give them a call at 716-664-9502. We have more information in a web story right now at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. Well, seniors at Faulkner High School have launched a petition calling for a traditional graduation after the Board of Education there decided to host a virtual ceremony instead due to COVID-19. Faulkner High School senior Alyssa writes, "Let Them Walk Change.org petition so far has gained the support of over 400 in the community." Wright tells us she, along with her fellow classmates, are asking the school board to reconsider their decision.
I want people to know that we're not okay with what they've decided, and it would have been nice if they would have talked to us and talked to our parents to come up with something. So now we're using our voice to come up with a better solution that would better fit everyone.
Now, Wright says students were first notified of this decision via a letter posted on their school locker the day they returned from working remotely to pick up their belongings. Her high school principal, Jeffrey Jordan, says that he's talked with Wright about coming up with a plan that is as close to normal as possible, yet keeping everybody safe.
Our plans are that we would have a ceremony that would be virtual, trying to keep it as normal as possible with all of our speakers and awards and everything like that. And then have a diploma drive-through where families with our 2020 seniors could come to our athletic facility, walk onto the field, walk across the stage on the field, and use our scoreboard and screen that we have to announce their name and show their picture, and have families be able to take pictures that way while keeping social distancing, of course.
Jordan says he wants to give the senior class the best possible graduation. Furthermore, he's proud that Wright spoke out and advocated for her position. Well, we thank you so much for joining us here for WNY News Now on this Friday before a Memorial Day weekend. But for some who maybe still aren't quite back to work yet, it just feels like another day out there. We thank you for joining us nevertheless. Got to say hello to Dawn. Good to see Joanna. Happy Friday to you. Always happy to have you on the broadcast. Good to see Teresa. Carl, good afternoon. Good afternoon to Joe, David, Beth, and Karen. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. And staying dry out there because last few days, absolutely beautiful. Today, though, Dakota, it looks like there's a little bit of rain moving in, and cool pick behind you from Warren.
Yeah, you know, all good things must come to an end, and our great weather stretch, unfortunately, comes to an end today. This is a live look overlooking the Warren City Bank in downtown Warren. You can actually see some of the light rain falling and actually some low-lying fog, basically, that is hugging, you know, the mountain ranges back here. Man, I like that picture, but it's wet. The rain accumulation, 0.05 of an inch so far today. So here's the radar showing just these little scattered showers that are popping up. It's mainly to the south, and notice notice the way these are moving this way to the northwest. And this is basically this is because that high pressure area that's been sitting over us over the past couple of days is breaking down and moving, and it's basically moving out, allowing warm, moist southern air to start to infiltrate the region. And with the air becoming moist, that means we're going to have a little bit of rain. Temperatures right now, 62 here in town, 68 Mayville, 67 in Fredonia, 62 Clymer, 67 in Warren, and almost close to 70 down there in Tidiu in Warren County. 73 was the high yesterday. 55 was the low temp this morning. 86 and 30 are the record high and lows for this day. So through the afternoon, partly to mostly cloudy on average to maybe even now I think we're getting into basically just overcast skies. Now showers develop south to north today, and basically just through the afternoon, 65 at the immediate Lake Erie waterfront due to an onshore breeze, to 73 well inland. And the holiday weekend, not a total washout, but hit and miss. We'll talk about it in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Coming up next, we have a lot more to tell you about this half an hour. How one group is remembering local heroes this Memorial Day. That when we return.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading the WNY News Now mobile app. Stay up to date on local news, weather, and sports that matter to you. Plus, subscribe to breaking news and weather alerts from the team that puts coverage first. In addition, watch news as it happens with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network. Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. Late last month, the Jamestown Memorial Day Parade and subsequent public ceremony was called off this year due to the COVID-19 outbreak and state restrictions on public gatherings. Joining us on the show to talk about how one group in the city is working to keep Memorial Day activities going this Memorial Day is Melody Palladino with the United Veterans Council of Jamestown. Melody, great to have you on the program today. Thank you.
Nice to be with you.
First off, let's walk back a second. Why specifically were the events called off, and how hard of a decision was that to make?
Well, it was called off because of the restrictions of social distancing and the numbers for gathering. As most people know, we have thousands and thousands of people that gather for our Memorial Day parade and ceremony at the cemetery. And it was a very difficult decision to make because every year we look forward to honoring our veterans, and Memorial Day in the city is a huge event.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it looks like your group, keeping social distancing in mind, though, is still working to keep the memory of those fallen heroes alive. What have you done so far on that front?
Well, we absolutely wouldn't forget any of the veterans. And in our way of keeping Memorial Day alive and honoring the veterans, we decided that as a committee and a board, we would continue to place the flags among the cemeteries, the Lakeview, Holy Cross, and Holy Sepulchre, like we always have. We divided up into small groups and decided to walk the cemetery and place the flags as they've always done. It's just been a little bit different procedure this year.
Yeah, as for placing those, it seems like it's a huge feat. We're looking at some of the footage that we actually took yesterday. As for placing them, how many are there specifically there in Lakeview?
There's 3,640 here in Lakeview Cemetery, 450 in Holy Cross, and 430 in Holy Sepulchre.
Wow, so that seems like a huge effort to accomplish. Normally, I imagine you have a lot of people involved, but this year with COVID-19, was it any different?
Very different. We had about 15 people, including the committee, the board, and a couple volunteers that came to the cemetery office to pick up flags. where normally we would have over 200 people coming to help place the flags.
Wow. As for ceremonies, I know that there is a Blue Star Mothers ceremony that's going to be taking place on Monday, keeping in mind social distancing and having people in their vehicles. We actually have a special coming up for viewers so they know that Susan Raleigh will be joining us on the show Monday at noon to talk about that ahead of it. But for you and your group, is there going to be something happening there at Lakeview this year?
We'll be doing a private ceremony here with just the board members, so that we can raise the flag and do an honorary service for them. However, it won't be on the National Memorial Day. We decided as a board that we would go back to the original Memorial Day of May 30th. So we're going to just do a small short ceremony on the 30th here at the cemetery with us board members.
Okay, and I imagine that it's so important, and I think for people who maybe aren't in the veterans community, they don't know. But why is Memorial Day and the process of observing it important to keep going?
Well, we are all, I'm sorry, I get emotional with this. We are all living freely today because of those who have fallen. They stood up and gave many sacrifices, many signed that dotted line and knew that they may be giving their lives so that we here as Americans can live freely today.
Yeah, certainly is. And normally we see that huge sign of support come from the community each year with that Memorial Day parade. And I always ask myself, I've never seen one where we haven't had beautiful weather for it. The significance of having the parade and having the people involved, I imagine that probably speaks well to the families of those who have passed.
Absolutely. There's no better way than to bring the community together and show an overall group support for those who have fallen. We continue to tell people Memorial Day, you see a lot of people doing barbecues and celebrations and stuff, but Memorial Day is actually a very solemn holiday. It's a time to remember those who have fallen, a time to speak the names of those that you know that have fallen, because we say when you speak the name, they're never forgotten. And in this time, that's very, very important because we won't be having people at the cemetery going through and seeing all of the names that are here just in this one cemetery alone.
For the veterans, Melody, what does that mean to them? What do they tell you when participating in those ceremonies and parades that we normally have?
It's not only a sense of finalization for some of them, but it's a time for them to remember their brothers and their service and remember what they went and fought for. You know, there's a saying amongst veterans that a veteran's service is never done. They may retire, they may pass away, they may sign back up. But the truth of the matter is that when our veterans come back to our community, there's always a sense of service that never dies.
Yeah, certainly. And finally, we thank you for joining us. What are you and your group asking the public to do come Monday to help keep the tradition alive, even though we can't physically be apart together?
One, we ask that you fly that red, white, and blue high. You know, be proud that you're Americans and be thankful for those that for what the veterans have given. Two, remember that as you're celebrating, that it is a day of solemnness for those who have fallen. And if you know of any veterans that have passed, friends that have veterans that have passed, remember to say a name or just to thank a veteran in general on Memorial Day. And the last thing is that you can always take your car and drive through the cemetery, go for a walk. Just remember to practice the social distancing so that we're not getting ourselves in trouble.
Yeah, certainly. And
keep everybody safe.
yeah, and I know that it's such a tough thing to not have these types of ceremonies, and it's not just a Jamestown thing either. I know that we're scheduled all across the county, the state, and the country,
Yes.
and for safety, we had to call them off. But nevertheless, keeping the spirit alive is something that it's great to see. Melody Palladino with the United Veterans Council here in Jamestown. Melody, thank you so much for joining us today. Braving the rain at the cemetery. Great shot behind you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now let's get a check of our weather forecast with Dakota.
You know, I've mentioned it on the show before. My grandfather served in World War II. He was a sharpshooter in the 7th 77th Tank Division, and I have many friends who are currently serving in the military or have served in the military. So, I mean, we can't thank you guys enough for all the service that you do for our country, really. So anyway, here we go with the high temperatures from yesterday. 73 was the high in town yesterday, 75 Dunkirk, 72 in Erie, and the temperatures are going to be continuing warming up here, and we've got some summer-like air coming our way. 70 today, 74 Saturday, and look at Sunday getting close to 80, and Memorial Day and on Tuesday we're likely looking at the lower 80s now. Shh, just between us girls. Some spots may have a shot of hitting the mid-80s come some point next week. Again, we're not putting that in the forecast as of right now, but it is a possibility. Some areas could be getting close to the mid or maybe even upper 80s come later in the week next week. So as I told you earlier, all great things must come to an end. That fabulous stretch of weather we had, yeah, it's gone. But the temperatures are going to be continuing to stay warm, though. That's at least the good part of the whole forecast. A few showers this afternoon that'll continue into tonight. Maybe some rumbles definitely possible, especially tonight. The weekend's not a total washout by any means, and Memorial Day is looking warm, as I just showed you, with temperatures getting close to 80. So right now we're at 62 as a noon hour with a southeast wind of 8, and the humidity is up there today. The humidity 84%, the dew point 57. So you're going to be feeling it as you walk outside today. That's going to be something we're going to be looking at into next week. Memorial Day, speaking of which, how is it looking for the forecast? Well, we're going to be up to near 80 degrees, and again, there is a small chance for a rain shower or thunderstorm through the day. Again, the humidity is really going to be spiking up, especially next week. So you're going to feel the humidity in the air. So because of that, we do have a chance for a few scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. You know how these work. They pop up at random times during the day, but temperatures getting close to 80 degrees, not a total washout, but just keep that in mind. You may be dodging a few raindrops at times. So why is all this happening? Well, it has to do with this high pressure right here. This is the high right here that was Rex blocking this system here from moving to the north. Well, now this high is moving out, and it's allowing the moisture to infiltrate back up to the north. So because of that, the shower chances are going to be increasing as that moist air starts to work in. FutureScan paints FutureScan paints a good picture for you, or not a good picture if you're not a fan of the rain. But it shows you here basically these showers coming in basically today. That'll continue through the night tonight. Again, scattered showers. They'll ultimately become a little bit more widespread. Well, not widespread, but they'll become a little bit more spotty as we go throughout the night. Tomorrow, not a washout. You can see the sparse coverage of rain tomorrow. So it's not going to be a total washout, but you may be dodging a few raindrops from time to time, especially in the afternoon hours on Saturday. So zone cast, the inland areas, first of all, temperatures here getting close to 70 in some spots, maybe even the mid 70s once you work down into Warren County, but showers are going to be developing through the day. West we go, and temperatures near the Lake Erie shoreline, cooler spot today because of an onshore wind coming right off the lake, and the Lake Erie water temperature 48. So that cooler lake water helps keep the lakeshore cooler. Next 7 days of your life coming up, 74 tomorrow, 78 on Sunday. Neither day a total washout with scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm at times in the afternoon, but you're going to feel the humidity in the air. Again, Monday, not a total washout either. Scattered showers and storms up to 80. We're going to make a run at the mid to upper 80s come the middle of the week. And again, with very high humidity in the air, we do have a chance for scattered showers and storms basically almost every day next week, minus Tuesday, which at this point should be mainly dry. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Great to see that summer is finally here. Coming up next, a big anniversary for a big brand and how you can get connected. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Well, guess what? Pac-Man is 40 years old today. The Maze video game debuted in Tokyo back in May of 1980. It was originally called Puck-Man, but the game's American distributor feared that kids would change the P to an F. You think about that for a minute. So they changed it and it became Pac-Man. An innovative gameplay with a defined main character and the first power-up ever in video games was introduced. While Pac-Man yet is simple in today's time, it's also can be pretty difficult. To this day, only a handful of people have completed a perfect game, finishing with no lives lost and the maximum number of points reached for each level. Certainly all of our video game enthusiasts out there are probably excited about today. I don't know if they still have Pac-Man in many arcades. Obviously now during COVID, a lot of those places are not open, but nevertheless a cool little thing, and I guess it's a good thing they didn't go with the name Puck-Man, because I imagine if you could just change the letters around on the marquee, especially in arcades, Dakota, that could be a tricky thing that we're not allowed to talk about here on the show.
Have you ever played Pac-Man?
I have, yeah. I remember as a kid I had one of the little gamer things that it was just Pac-Man.
Yeah.
You know, very cheapy, Walmart-y type of thing.
Dollar Tree.
Yeah, probably. My parents loved the Dollar Tree because as a kid, you'd play with something for probably, 10 seconds, and then you go on to something else?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it always is, it seems like.
The land of cheap toys that, you buy it and 2 days later it breaks.
Yes,
and
or you buy it, you lose interest, and it ends up in the forgotten box.
Do you remember the surprise bags?
Surprise bags?
Yeah, for toys. They were like, birthday gifts. They would put, in a brown paper bag, it would say, surprise for a boy, surprise for a girl.
Oh,
and
really?
It had, toys in it for boys and girls to give, at parties.
So, if you had a party, say, at a park or something, you'd hand those out to the kids when they leave?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I think
used to
do
give
remember.
those a lot. I mean, as a kid, I grew up lower income. So as a kid, I used to go to the Dollar Tree a lot and buy those when I used to go to birthday parties. So
hey, you
I'm
remember
sorry
those
to all
balloons
my
you blow
former
up
friends.
and you'd punch? You know what I'm talking about? The balloons you blow up and you'd punch? They have the rubber
No.
band? No, I loved those. If you remember those, drop it in the comment down below. Because I'd always hit my sister in the head with those. Got in trouble multiple times.
Well, you see, in a way, I'm lucky because my brother is 15 years older than I am. But that also means I was on the receiving end of a lot of stuff, too. So the Memorial Day forecast here, it's going to be rather warm with temperatures up to near almost 80 degrees, but scattered showers and storms possible through the day. Again, very humid as well. So with that humid air comes the chance for those scattered showers and storms, but not a total washout. Again, that's the key point that we want to make here. There's going to be dry times in between, but don't be surprised if you hear a little rumble of thunder. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll at least have it clear at around noontime, especially for there are a few things going on in the county in regards to Memorial Day. We thank you all for joining us here on WNY News Now on this Friday as we continue to cover the COVID-19 outbreak. One programming note to tell you about, though. Come Monday, because a lot of these ceremonies around the county are unable to honor those brave men and women, those American heroes who paid the ultimate sacrifice while serving this great nation, we are dedicating our entire show to the Blue Star Mothers here in Western New York and across New York State. Susan Raleigh and special guest join me to talk about one American hero's story and why it's so important to keep those stories and those names and memories alive. That kicks off Monday right here at noon on WNY News Now. And then Raleigh and the rest of the local Blue Star Mothers are holding a special event and social distancing ceremony at the Chautauqua Mall at 1 o'clock, where people can come and park their cars, stay in their cars, and listen to the ceremony live via the radio. So we encourage you to check that out. We have full details right now on WNYNewsNow.com. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news does continue 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. All you got to do is search WNY News Now in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Dodging a couple raindrops out there. Hope you have a great Friday.